how to get and keep women interested in you. Today we're going to talk about developing a communication style that is effective and authentic to you. Most men who are doing well in their career or their business have developed habits that serve them well in that area in terms of communication that don't serve them well at all in their social and their dating life. Today, I want to give you some very practical, in-depth pieces of advice that you can use at a mindset as well as at a tactical level to get a better dating life temporarily to find the right girlfriend or wife. You first of all have to understand that you've been conditioned, you have been rewarded for communicating in a very logical, concise, stern, serious manner and for overthinking. You overthink long and hard before you're talking to your business partner, before you're reviewing a proposal, client requests, your managers. Because if you say something stupid, your reputation, your career, your business relationships may be at stake. So something that is a competence in one area, this type of communication, stern, overthinking, being serious, being very logical, very sequential, very concise, can become a flaw in a different context. In dating, when you're on a date with a woman, she's not there for a logical exchange of information. She wants fun. She wants you to be able to just keep talking. The information itself is absolutely secondary. She wants you to create emotional relevance. She wants it to be fun, not necessarily funny. You don't have to become a comedian. You don't have to be super funny, but fun and lighthearted and to go into the story and to act out some characters. Now, it doesn't have to be like me. Authenticity really matters. I know I can be a little bit hyperactive, by the way. No, I don't drink alcohol. I don't do white powder. I don't even drink caffeine. Zero, okay? Nothing, nada. I drank it for a little bit and then I stopped again, but it's not my thing. This is natural energy because I love what I do. This is my communication style. My mentor, the guy who I learned from, who's also a coach in my program, by the way, he is somebody who has a very different communication style. He's from a part in the world where people aren't, it's not America, okay? It's very different. And yet he's unbelievably effective in his communication with women. Authenticity does not mean being over the top charismatic. My mother is a nurse in Germany. She helps people die, literally. She's extremely passionate about her job. My father is a doctor. My mother's a nurse. They're both very passionate about their jobs in their own way. That's where I got it from. This is how I like to express myself. And actually, it's very interesting. When I started making videos, little side tangent that will be very helpful for you. When I started making videos, I thought that I'd have to tone myself down a little bit because I had a manager working for Salesforce, a big tech company back in the day, who said, David, you are too theatrical. You're too dramatic for the German market. I said, all right, okay. I guess in a professional environment, I can't truly be myself because it won't land with the right types of clients. So if you go back, there's videos on TikTok and YouTube, videos from 4 or 5 years ago where I temporarily, because I started making videos 10 years ago, where I temporarily decreased my energy. Again, sometimes I might make videos when I'm a little bit calmer these days, where I may have meditated beforehand, but the vibe is entirely different. I do so because it's an authentic expression of what I'm feeling in the moment because I may have meditated right before then and there, right before the video shoot. But 4 or 5 years ago, if you look at the videos, I'm much quieter. I'm suppressed because I thought that's how I'd have to communicate to resonate with professionals, executives, and business owners. And then I realized over the years that I'm castrating myself. I cannot keep up that facade. It's not how I talk. If you want me to present the information to you in a way that I can keep doing it for years, that's entertaining and fun for me and compelling, and so I can free-flowingly come up with examples that may be relevant, then it has to be done in a way where I feel authentic, where it feels easy, a way in which I love it. And this is exactly a journey that you'll also have to go on in your communication with women. You haven't even found your voice. You haven't even found your voice. You haven't even begun to find your voice in your communication with women. In business, check. In your career, check. Maybe you're getting started there also. Maybe you're refining your voice there. But with women, you haven't even found it. Because while you may be crushing it in a professional environment, you're restricted. You're castrated. You're holding back. Can you hear my voice? How screwed my voice is? There are some insects that are crawling up my leg here, some spiders, because we're filming right at the sea here in Ireland, and these are some of the things that I do for you guys, and to be honest, also for myself, because I love it, because I love being in nature. The reason my voice is so blown out is because I spent this entire weekend with clients. Most of the coaching we do is online. Some of it is in person. So we spent an entire weekend coaching, going out, doing personal development exercises. We really go all in. I really care. That's why my voice is like that. Little side note. But I do that because, again, I can't just go and do a seminar half-heartedly. If I'm with clients, even just 3 for a weekend, 1 from the US, 2 from Germany, I go all in. My friend who was coaching with me, we go all in. Because if I hold back with my feedback, the way I deliver the messaging, the advice, the coaching, the intensity, that is what I have to do for me to enjoy it, because if I won't enjoy it and I feel like I have to castrate myself and hold myself back in any way, shape or form, or change it so that it lands better with any particular client, then I can't be myself. I'm at a stage in my coaching career where I don't give a solitary anymore if any particular client doesn't like this. If you don't like my style, get, and I say that in the most polite way, not because I'm actually aggressive towards you, but because I want you to have the same mindset towards people who don't like your style. You need to have that attitude when you communicate with women. What is your way of communicating? Are you a little bit calmer? But by the way, you can be calm and still have certainty behind your voice, because adding certainty to your spoken word also primes a more confident mental and emotional state in the moment. Or are you a little bit more energetic? You will need to go through the process of trying things out. You can't find your voice if you don't go on a ton of dates. And again, you don't date for the purpose of dating. You're not a dating coach. You want the outcome. You want the high quality relationship. To be able to find that, you have to find your voice, which means trying things out, speaking a little bit louder, speaking a little bit quieter, more certainly, a little bit warmer at times, acting things out, watching stand-up comedy, vocal variety. You need to speak. The only way you get good at talking to women is to talk to women. There's this saying, and I actually Googled it, I couldn't find proof of it, so it probably isn't even true, but people say that Bruce Lee supposedly said, when he was asked, how do you learn to punch fast? And he said, punch fast. I looked it up on Google. There's no evidence whatsoever that he ever said it, but it's still a fantastic example. If you want to get good at talking to women, you got to talk to a ton of them. And you may only have to do that for 6 or 12 months, or 3 or 7 or 9, but it is a finite game, but you have to go all in and commit yourself. It is a process. You cannot expect yourself to be fantastic in your communication with women from today to tomorrow. There's patterns of communicating, of being vocally and emotionally restricted in your communication around the female members of this beautiful earth. You've done that. You've created these patterns for 30, 40, 50 years, 60 years. It's going to take months to change that. Not years, but a couple of months. And the good news is, it's not who you truly are. The stress you may be feeling, the nervousness, the restriction, the lack of free-flowing communication, these are just negative habits or an absence of positive habits, but that's not who you truly are. Who you truly are is somebody who already has a masculinity inside of him, so you got to learn to unleash that and add an external skill set. Because as much as it is, on the one hand, unleashing and letting out the masculine side in you that she wants to see in a kind, calibrated and loving way, boom, she wants to feel it. As much as it's about letting that side come out, it's also about adding a skill set, because it doesn't matter how much you are in tune with your true self and how much you've meditated, you will never beat somebody at chess who's played chess for 5 years. You'll never be able to win in a jiu-jitsu match just because you happen to be confident or in the right mental and emotional state. So it is absolutely both. It is absolutely creating the right mental and emotional state every single day so you can free-flowingly communicate and come up with stories that you may have not even thought about. Something that happened 17 years ago that you can just pull out of the hat. Because when you're in the right state, because of state-dependent memory, all of a sudden, all those resources, all those competencies you already have inside you will become available to you. As much as it's about that, it is also about adding a skill set and learning storytelling, learning to create a man-to-woman connection. What is an emotional hook point? What is a joke that's funny, that's not funny? What's calibrated? How do I tease? That's just a skill set component. There are free resources out there. We have a coaching program. Apply for a free initial consultation call. Click the link below. Do it. It will change your life. Whether you do it with me, whether you do it with somebody else, doesn't matter. Yeah, obviously it matters because we're absolutely the best in the world. This is the Harvard of dating. If you want to find a quality relationship, click the link and a member of my team is going to get in touch with you and we're going to change your life and you're going to find a woman who will support you and love you, somebody who you're intellectually congruent, compatible with, pardon me, you're physically attracted to, somebody with a beautiful personality. This is the place. Click it. But it is a skill set that needs to be developed regardless. We have 2,500 free short form videos, couple of hundred in English, several ones in German also. It is a skill set that needs to be added. But I don't want you to beat yourself up for not having the skill set yet. You also need to enjoy the process. I'm moving around a little bit because these stones, these rocks aren't particularly comfortable to stand on. And I feel like I'm getting a little cramp in my foot here, and then Fernanda is going to have to give me a foot massage later on. By the way, what I'm doing right now is also going a little bit off track. Did I get nervous about the fact that my little foot is hurting? Oh no, it screwed up my presentation. The worst thing that I could do right now is to become insecure around the fact that my position wasn't straight. You don't care that I've gone slightly off subject right now. As long as I stay somewhat congruent and I can relate it back in a semi-coherent manner to what we were talking about beforehand, which I'm pretty genius at doing at this stage because I know my subject matter inside out, it doesn't matter. Same on a date. Oh, you may have made a little mistake. You've stumbled across your words. I don't even know if that's the perfect grammatical way of putting it. Irrelevant. She just doesn't want to see that you doubt yourself. And obviously, Jordan Peterson has a really good point when he says, narcissists, they fake competence. They are so confident, they fake competence. But for you, it's the opposite. You are already competent. You're just not confident. You have so many things that you could be proud about, not brag, but that you could ground your self-esteem and your confidence in addition to earning it on a daily basis by doing difficult things and putting yourself out there. You have so many things that you could be proud of, things that will benefit her, that you completely ignore. For you to feel as insecure as you do around women, you actually have to ignore, delete from your current conscious experience all the things you've developed over the course of your life. There are so many awesome things that you can invite her into. You're a kind, caring, warm guy. People who watch these videos, who watch my stuff, they usually fall into that category. All of my clients are like that. They're doing well in their career, their business. A lot of them are crushing it to varying extents, taking care of their health, going into personal development. We're all at different stages, no problem. But they're also very warm. You're a loving. Aren't you so dedicated to making her life better? Would you not treat her like a queen? I want you to write a list of 20 reasons why it would be the biggest gift in the world for her to spend her life with you. Not just why it would be all right, why it would be the single greatest gift from God, the universe, or life to be able to spend her life with you. Not with John, not with Stephen, unless you're John and Stephen. Hi John, hi Stephen. With you. Write it down. Not 17, not 16. 20 reasons or more. What do you have to offer? I'm kind, I'm good in bed. I have resources. I am dedicated to making her feel good. I'm self-reflective. I assume responsibility for my actions. I want to have children. I don't want to have children. Anything can be an advantage for the right target audience because communicating in an authentic way will push away the wrong people and it will attract the right people. Finding your voice by trying out, by talking in a completely exaggerated way, and then in the next moment in a completely calm and peaceful and meditated way. By finding your voice and then expressing it, unashamedly, unapologetically, you will push away most people. And then the few that will stay interested in you, they're the ones who are actually right for you. They're the ones who you truly want. Because most men have average relationships. Most men are in relationships with women that shouldn't even be a friends with benefits relationship. Most men have friendships that are lukewarm. Zero loyalty. Zero desire to see you win. You may go out with a friend of yours, then you both approach two women. Then one of them starts making fun of you and your friend joins in her making fun of you. Ridiculous. Zero sense of loyalty. Zero sense of backing. Zero sense of mutual encouragement. Your happiness in life depends on the relationships you have with women and with other men. The only way to have the best quality relationships is to have high levels of compatibility. To have true compatibility, you have to share what's actually inside you. But right now, there's a front. You're putting on a front. You're not sharing what's truly going on inside of you. If you're only sharing a fake version of yourself, you're going to attract people who are compatible with a fake version of you. And then you wonder why you feel exhausted in social interactions. Then you wonder why you feel not as energized as you'd like to be. I keep hammering this idea of male friendships. It's an absolute must. Go to gyms, jiu-jitsu gyms, attract these people into your life. And the more you listen to what you truly want, you listen to the tactic now, pay attention. You have a thought and you suppress it. Instead of doing that, you have a thought, you have an inkling here in your head, wherever you sense it, and you actually speak it. You train the habit of having a thought and saying it. Not in your professional environment. Not in a business necessarily. There you want to run it through a bunch of filters for sure. Still honest, not fake, but more filters. And you gotta, timing also has to be better. In a social environment, say what comes to your mind. Yes, one of my business professors at my university back in the day said it was a genius. The quality of a relationship can be measured by the depth of the teeth mark in your lip or in your tongue. How many times did you have to bite your tongue and not say something? That is also true. But filtering yourself and being effective comes later. First, it's raw, radical honesty. Saying what you actually believe, even if you risk offending people. And then you want to be intelligent about it because is what I'm saying necessary? Is it kind? Is it truthful? These are three questions you can and should ask yourself because otherwise you can also unnecessarily burn relationships. Hey, I was honest. No, you're not supposed to be That's not what you're supposed to do. But say what you actually believe and then say it in a kind way. Gary Vaynerchuk, he calls it kind candor. Not just candor, kind candor. You want to say what you actually believe in a kind, warm, and loving way. What is your intent? Your intent is to win and to help the people around you win. So, if you listen to what's actually going on inside of you and you don't do things you don't want to do, you don't go on dates you don't want to go on, you communicate things, you don't stay on a date more than 5 or 10 minutes if you realize, whoa, she actually doesn't look like she portrayed herself on the dating picture, and you wish her all the best and you shake her hand and you get her an Uber home and you never speak to her again because you realize there's an opportunity cost associated with you wasting your time on that date. If you start listening to what's actually going on inside of you and you live that out, you will start feeling alive. You'll let go of a lot of pressure. Most men feel so much pressure and depression or feeling down, a little bit of sadness, a lack of energy because they depress the truth that is coming from inside. They don't let their own true thoughts and feelings out. You have a lot of intelligence inside of you. You have dormant resources and capabilities and intuitions that you've suppressed for so many years. If you learn to put yourself in the right state and you communicate effectively while you're on the date, you will be surprised by the types of reactions you'll get from women when you're on the date. You'll have inklings on what to say, little facial expressions, associations you'll make in the moment you couldn't have consciously anticipated beforehand by any stretch of the imagination. It was something that came about as a result of you listening to what's actually inside of you. And that's a habit that you can train and foster. You have it within you. You have the skills that needs to be added, but you have it within you to You know what you should be doing. You know you should do approaches. You know you should be sending the Instagram messages. You know you should get your ass on dating apps and socialize more and do all of those things. You're not doing it because you have mindset problems. Again, you got to get help, external feedback to resolve those blind spots by somebody, because otherwise you'll stay stuck. But if you start to listen to who you are, and you get in touch with what you truly believe, so you don't follow any ideology blindly, but you're an independent thinker and you tune into what's going on inside of you. If you do that, you will become the rawest and most authentic version to yourself, and you'll push 9 out of 10 people away. But the ones who stay, they're the ones who are meant to stay. They are the ones who will make you feel truly alive. They are the ones who will have your back. They'll be there for 20, 30 years until they die, until you die. They'll really stick it out with you. And they're the ones who you're actually looking forward to meeting. Because how excited are you actually about the dates that are currently going on? How excited are you actually about the social time that you spend? Maybe you're extremely fortunate to spend time with quality male friends. Maybe it's a little bit like, oh yeah, it's all right. If you're not, mark my words right now, if you're not excited about life, you're not spending enough time with the right people. And that comes about as a result of you not saying what you actually believe. It is really that simple. It goes deeper than that in certain ways, of course. But start listening to the little inklings. And sometimes it's quiet. It's a very quiet voice that tells you, it could be a feeling in your gut. It could be a sensation in your throat, in your chest. It could be a thought. Sometimes the right thing to do or say is very quiet. It doesn't shout. Sometimes it screams. And sometimes it's a very gentle inkling. And if you haven't trained yourself to listen to it, then it may be a little bit foreign. The same thing was true with me and my ex-wife. I was so psychologically dependent on her approval. I needed her love and connection so much. I was like, I'll never find someone like her. I don't want to lose her. That I started having anxiety and panic attacks a couple of months after we got engaged, that I wasn't even sure what was truly going on inside of me anymore. I was living a lie. I don't want to be living a lie. I don't want you to do that either. I want you to freely express yourself in a way that's win-win-win. Win for you, win for her, a win for the world. But your playing small does not serve the world. And you will only be able to do good for other people if you do good for yourself. Only if you listen to yourself and you communicate your needs. Because, by the way, in a relationship, dipping into advanced relationship dynamics for a moment, she can't read your thoughts either. Women may expect us to be a little bit of Sherlock Holmes, and anticipate what she wants before she actually says it. Fair enough, they're allowed to do that. By the way, the best partners, even female partners, will also communicate it, but it's not our job. Sorry, it's not their job to necessarily do that. But we can't expect women to do that with us. We need to communicate our needs also in a relationship later on. You would be surprised how willing women are, the ones who you're truly compatible with, to meet your needs in all kinds of ways if you fulfill them. If you make her feel loved, if you give her attention and presence, if you're fully with her. And again, it doesn't just come with a sense of over-investing. A lot of men were to now take this, what I'm saying, in a way of, oh, okay, cool, if I just love her more, and I bring her flowers, I bring her chocolate, I pick her up, oh, for a gay best friend, right? Whatever it takes. No, that's not the way either. Sometimes it's about setting a boundary and being on your path as a man and saying no and being masculine. And again, it depends on the nuances of the situation. But if you communicate your needs, you'll be surprised how willing people are to meet them. Do you know how much I hate it when guys express affection for each other when they're drunk? The only reason I hate it, by the way, is I would love for them to be able to hug each other and tell them, hey, I love you, bro, I really love you, when they're not drunk. You want to have men in your life and a woman who can truly express how they feel about you without the need for a neurotoxin that they can then later on blame because they're deeply insecure and they value the opinion of the wrong people too much. Remove these obstacles. Remove these beliefs of what you think has to happen before. before I can truly express myself, XYZ. And again, imagine two circles. Authenticity on the one hand and relatability and effectiveness on the other hand. If you are only authentic and raw, but you're not calibrated, you're not effective, well, then you're going to burn relationships and people won't want to be around you anymore and you're going to be basically a social outcast. But on the other hand, if you're just effective, which is what a lot of you are, and not as authentic, even if you think you're being honest with women, you're not even being that honest, because if you're not communicating your intent and you're letting her know, even just by the way you look at her, with the compliments, with the romantic tension that you create that this is a man-to-woman connection, thereby you're also not being that honest. If you're not being honest, only effective, then that's called manipulation. You want to speak the truth. What's the difference between manipulation and influence? In my book, it's speaking the truth and having win-win. Paying attention that what you do serves her and you. It makes her feel better and it makes you feel better. You want to act in such a way that what you do is win-win-win. And you speak the truth. Then you're influencing, then you're not manipulating. So if you imagine these two circles, authenticity here and social calibration on the other hand, where both of those overlap, that is where the magic happens. Because yes, you want to be calibrated, you want to read her signals. You always want to make sure she's comfortable. If she's uncomfortable, you either back off, you create a little bit more space, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But it's also about a fundamental willingness to lose the wrong people. If you understand that 90% of society simply is not right for you, no matter what, then you won't even try to impress them. You won't, because why would you? They're not going to make you happy anyway. It's going to end up in conflict and disaster. It's bad for you, it's bad for them. It's not good for you. It's going to make your life a living hell to keep the wrong people in your life. So you better cut them out straight away. It's much better to have a little bit of friction on the front end, but long-term happiness. You are currently sacrificing long-term fulfillment and happiness to please a couple of the wrong people. These cucks, them. Say this, them. These lukewarm relationships with women or with men, they're doing you no good. They're keeping you in a prison. You're caring too much about the opinions of the wrong people and not about everybody. Yeah, about some people's opinions you got to care about, especially if they have an expertise in an area that you don't have. But let me tell you something. You don't have the choice in life to not get judged. The only choice you have is who you want to get judged by. Do you want to get judged by losers for doing slightly unusual things like dating apps, like an approach, like working on your personal development, or do you want to get judged by winners for not doing it? There is a group of people who actually walk the talk, and they are currently judging you for not putting yourself out there. But you have the choice to do that today, to make a decision to no longer tolerate this BS average existence that you have been living. You've been living a great existence in your hobby or your career or your business in certain ways, but you've totally held back in a lot of other ways. You've been missing out on this fulfillment. It is absolutely available to you at any given point in time. It may take a year, it may take a couple of months, but if you dedicate yourself to the process and you learn to enjoy it, and you will enjoy it, if you're honest and authentic, you will have a amazing ride. Speak your truth and you will have an amazing journey. Wish you all the best.